But just don't pay attention to anything behind the curtain being me.
This video is sponsored by my patrons. For more information or to join, there is a link down in the description.
Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of the Lovebird Lane vlog. My name is Julianne, I am your host, and we have yet another different background. Pretty much today is very cloudy, it's very dark, so I'm here in front of my sideboard, in front of my window, filming so that we have a bit of a light. So hopefully it all works out okay. Pay absolutely no attention to my quilting crap over in the corner. That's my usual vlogging chair when I have my light out and everything. So yeah, you can see that it's just a little bit trashed. My patrons will know what is going on there. I was discussing that on our weekend wrap-up video earlier in the week. So yeah, let's just say that this is an outside indication of some stuff that's going on inside. So yeah, we're just going to ignore that. Just look at this nice, neat sort of side here. You've probably got some reflections of other junk, but just don't pay attention to anything behind the curtain being me. But yeah, so welcome. I have a few things to talk about. I forgot to vlog again last week. I don't know what happened. My whole week just disappeared, and by the time I realized it was Friday, I was like, oh, I didn't do a vlog this week. So yeah, hence no vlog last week, but I am here this week. I'm hoping to keep doing this weekly. However, I feel like I'm not really doing a whole lot to tell you all about, like within a week, especially as I am now getting into working on creating a sewing space downstairs for myself. If you aren't aware, I have been setting up in my kitchen, which is just behind that wall here. I have an IKEA wall unit that has like a drop down table that comes out, and I've been setting that up as my quilting space. However, it needs to be shut down every night. I need to clean the whole area up because my kitchen's not huge and the table takes up probably a third of the room, you know, like lengthwise anyway, not widthwise. But yeah, so every time I sew I need to clean that all up, put that all away so I can use my kitchen. So what I'm working on, as you would have seen in some of my videos at some point, I'm sure, there is a staircase. I live in a 2-story home, and yeah, I'm going to be clearing out underneath my staircase and bringing down my desk and setting up a sewing space down here. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I will just need to take a break because my battery is flashing at me, which is just perfect. So I will see you on the other side of a battery change. Hi, I'm back. I'm going to try and keep this relatively short and sweet today because I do need to go out this afternoon. One of my lovely viewers, I hope you don't mind me name dropping you, Dorothy. Thank you so much for the offer of some beautiful fabric. So I'm going to be heading over to see Dorothy this afternoon. So hi Dorothy, if you are watching, thank you so much. And yes, so I'll try and keep this short and sweet. I do have a finished object, and I have, this is knitting. I have a knitting work. It's one of those word days, guys. It is humid and I'm not really feeling it today, so we'll see how we go with the words. But what I was trying to say is that I have a knitting FO and I have a knitting work in progress, and I also have some quilting in progress as well. So I've got a little bit of everything for you today, so I hope you do enjoy. I will start right now with my finished object. So I have finished the pair of socks that you have already seen that I was knitting 2 at a time. So these are my very first pair of 2 at a time knit socks. So as I discussed in the last episode, I only had 1 ball of this colorway. This is Knit Picks Felici. I only had 1 ball of this colorway, so I was originally going to be doing a pair of socks with a coordinating cuff, heel and toe. However, all of my sports socks, my remaining pair I noticed this week has got a hole in it. So all of my sports socks are now dead. So I needed some more shorty socks to wear with my sneakers. So I thought I would use the 50-gram ball of this yarn to create a pair of shorty socks. So they are finished. And I had enough yarn. I think I ended up with maybe a meter of yarn left. So I cast on the toes, and I believe it was Judy's Magic Cast On. One of the viewers, I'm so sorry, I have not got your name with me right now, but I'll put it down in the down bar. Thank you for that. I believe I was describing Judy's Magic Cast On. I knew it was one of those J names because I think there's another one, Jenny's something as well. So yeah, I think this is Judy's Magic Cast On that I was trying to describe. So if you did want to try and figure out what that was that I was trying very badly to describe last week or last episode, that is what it is. And thank you so much. I'm glad that you were able to, sorry I don't have your name, but I'm glad that you were able to understand what it was that I was trying to say. But yeah, it does create this really cool cast on where it just, you don't even see it. And yeah, so I just cast on 10 stitches for each and increased to 64 stitches, which is my favorite stitch count. I did these on 2.5mm needles on a long circular needle, and yeah, my joins aren't perfect. I mean, you can see where the joins between my needles were, but I'm hoping with washing and wearing that will just sort of fix itself. It'll just work its way out. So I did a fish lips kiss heel because I tried doing a heel flap, but that was using too much yarn. I don't know whether I discussed that last episode, but yeah, I tried doing a heel flap, but it was taking up too much yarn, and I didn't have enough yarn left to do the remainder of the foot and the cuff. So I ripped it out, and this is a fish lips kiss heel, and that gave me just enough yarn to do a scant 1 inch above the fish lips kiss heel and some ribbing. So yeah, that actually worked out pretty well, and I used a bind off that was just from my well, not from my pattern, but from the Spinifex socks pattern, which was one of Helen Stewart's what's it called? Handmade Sock Society. It was in the latest group of patterns, the Spinifex socks. I have spoken about them on this vlog before, I believe. And yeah, I just used the cast off bind off for that, which basically is just like a yarn over pearl cast off. So yeah, these are my socks. I have not worn them yet. I really have needed them, but I've just been thrashing my old poor pair, my last poor pair. Yeah, I can now use them. I have tried them on. They do fit well, I think. Obviously, I haven't tried them in shoes, so they may be different in shoes, but I'm hoping that the little bit of ribbing here at the top is enough to keep them kind of up in my shoes. So we will see. I will need to check back and update you all in the next episode on how these have gone. And next up, I have another knitting work in progress, and it is more 2 at a time socks. So the knitting content this episode is probably going to be rather boring. Yeah, these are also Felici yarn, Knit Picks Felici yarn. I don't think I said that last colorway was Drama Club, so it's like the pinks and the greys. This one is called Raspberry Beret, so it's all sort of shades of purple, even though this one I think is reading a little bit blue. It is like a bluey purple. So yeah, it's all sort of blues, and it's got this one stripe, purples and pinks, and this one sort of stripe of a brownie color. So I think I'm getting close to putting the heel into these. I haven't worked on them for the last few days. Yeah, just haven't really been feeling it. I did have my COVID booster on Tuesday, so I am fully 5G cat girl boosted, and yeah, I was feeling good the first whole 24 hours, and then almost on the dot from the time that I had my injections 24 hours later, I started getting really achy, like my arms, which haven't been this way for a really long time, but as I've spoken about for a very long time on this vlog, I get quite a lot of pain in my arms and my hands at times, mostly in winter. It's probably because it's been relatively warm for the last little while. I haven't had a lot of issues, but starting Wednesday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because I got my booster on Tuesday at about 2:30 or something. So yeah, it was almost exactly 24 hours later. It was like 2:30 on Wednesday. I started getting really achy. My back started to ache, my neck, my arms, my hands. So I just haven't felt like knitting, honestly, since then. I feel fine now, as you should be able to tell. Yeah, I do feel fine now. It was just a little bit of aching, a little bit of tiredness, and I've been fine ever since then. So it didn't even hit me as hard as the second dose did. So yeah, I'm fine. But yeah, I just haven't felt like really knitting. I haven't even done really any sewing this week either. That's kind of where we're at for the knitting. I do have a gift that I really need to finish in the next week, because I just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. It wasn't for any particular event or anything. Let me dump those socks. Yeah, it wasn't like it was a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or anything like that. It was just something that I decided to do for a friend, just as a because I love you gift. So yeah, that is something that I need to finish in the next week and hopefully get that off to its new recipient. But I will obviously talk to you about that later. So I guess now I can get on to a little bit of sewing. So I have been doing more quilting, and I'm just going to reach over and grab this tray that I have here. This tray that my husband initially bought and put the felt in for doing Lego. I have sort of bogarted his trays, and they're kind of now mine. You know, as new crafts tend to do, they do take over a lot of space and mental energy, and now husband belongings. So he's a good sport, he's fine. I have been doing some sewing. I'm working on a new quilt top, and I have been also doing some English paper piecing. I finished the piecing itself. I'm working on putting them together into a piece of fabric. So this is going to be kind of hard to show you because all the piles are on piles, and this might take some organising. So let's just get on with it. I have done my very, very first flying geese blocks when it comes to doing quilting patchwork. So this is a flying goose block or geese block. So basically you have this triangle in the middle with 2 triangles on either side. So I am doing the mysterious quilt. I probably should have said that up front so I could put the little doobly-doo in and you know what I'm talking about. But these are pieces for the mysterious quilt. So I had to do 3 different types of flying geese. There was this one with my background on one side and the pattern on the other. And then had the opposite, so background on this side, pattern on this side. And then I also have a bunch of just triangles with background on either side. So I had to do the 3 different types of flying geese. And then there were, oh, I've got more here. I've got stuff everywhere. Where are my other blocks? I had one more block that I needed to make, which was this one. So it is basically background on 2 sides and your colour in the corner. So that's all the blocks that you need to create this entire block. I will show you. So as you can see, that's all the pieces there. I've got my little bit in the corner. Turn it around so it makes more sense. So this is your little piece in the corner, then you've got your flying geese blocks all around, and then a couple more sort of squares to create this block. And this pattern is really quite interesting because you make one block, and for the size that I'm making, which is the throw size, you need 48 of these. So I think I'm only I'm not even halfway. I think I'm close to 20 blocks. I haven't counted them, but my last count I did have 13, and I think I did at least 2 more, so maybe 15, 16 blocks. So yeah, this is your block, and I'll keep holding some up while I talk. So yeah, basically you make these blocks, and you then words guys, words. You then put them all together, obviously, to make a quilt top, but the pattern is called Mysterious because it can be made into 6 different designs. So you can actually arrange these blocks into, yeah, 6 different designs to get a lot of different looking quilts. So it's really quite fascinating. I'll put a link down in the description to the pattern, and I will put Jordan Fabrics video, which is where I first saw this pattern, up in the iCard. So if you are interested in either making it yourself or just seeing someone make it, yeah, head to that link and you'll see Donna from Jordan Fabrics making this quilt. So I'd like to get onto that a little bit more this afternoon if I can swing it. Simon is having to stay back late at work, so only by half an hour, so it's not very far, but hopefully that will leave me a little bit of sewing time. So yeah, that's the Mysterious quilt. I did take a photo. I laid out some of the, I think 12 of the blocks that I had made, and I'll pop the photo in so that you can see it. And yeah, I basically laid them out because I'm not very good, I'm not very confident, shall we say. It's that, not that I'm not good at it, it's that I don't really trust myself to do color combining. So even though I'm a yarn dyer and I do make very, like, to me, very pleasing yarn color combinations within a skein, joining, like putting skeins together, putting fabric designs together, I don't feel very confident doing it. So I took that photo just so that I could see kind of, like, that will show you also, that's the actual design that I'm going to be, like, putting the pieces together as, and I just really wanted to see if I was successful in picking my colors, because I did really want to make it out of the same fabric that Donna did in her video, but I found the fat quarter set that she used. It has 30 pieces in it, so it's more than what you need for the quilt. I am using 15 fat quarters for mine, which I just got from Spotlight. They had a couple of deals where they had, you could get 10 for $25 and 10 for $10 depending on the label, and I got 10 of each type, so I ended up getting 20 fat quarters for $35, only using 15, so I have some bonus. And yeah, the fat quarter bundle that was used in the video was the Ladybird. It's called Ladybird by Crystal Manning, I think, who is, I think, is the designer. And for the fat quarter bundle with 30 fat quarters, it was $220 plus shipping. So yeah, I cannot justify buying that. As much as I love it, I just can't. I did manage to snag a couple of charm packs at another online shop. I mostly frequent Cozy Corner Quilts. I love Cozy Corner Quilts. I love I've just completely blanked on her name. I think it's Julie, because it's very similar to my name. The colours that she chooses to stock, I just love most of them. So I do like to frequent Cozy Corner Quilts. And I did find a new shop because I was looking for some border fabric for another quilt that I'm going to be making. I did share a picture of the quilt that I want to make. It's a Dresden quilt. Dresden Blooms, I think it's called. That is also a Jordan Fabrics video, so I might put that up in the iCard as well, just so that you can see that as well if you're interested. And I just purchased some border fabric that matches the jelly roll that I will be using to make that quilt, which is Moda's Boudoir range, which is the same range that I used for my Fresh Diamonds quilt. And it just so happened that that was fabricpatch.com.au, I believe is what its URL is. It's Fabric Patch anyway, so if you search Fabric Patch, it will probably find it. And she just happened to have 2 charm packs of the Ladybird fabric, so I might have snagged those as well. So at least I will have that fabric that I loved so much that was used in the Mysterious quilt, and I can use it for another quilt, and hopefully 2 charm packs will be enough with background and other bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm hoping I can make a nice quilt out of that fabric as well. I don't know which one yet. That is TBA. For now, I'm just glad to have secured those charm packs, and they will be ferreted away into my stash, and I'm sure they will create something very beautiful one day. So yeah, I guess I can get on to some English paper piecing. So if y'all recall, I've harked back to this vlog many times. It was day 14, I believe. Let's see if I remember rightly. I will put it up in the iCard, and I might put a time stamp on the screen as well, so that you can go straight to that part of the vlog if you haven't seen it. But in my Vlogmas, I did go through and find some charm squares, charm packs that I had in my stash, and this was one of them that I am making these English paper piecing hexagons out of. So that's kind of a bit of a look for you there. It was Riley Blake, I believe. It was Organica, I think was the range. I think, yeah, Organica was the range. So I basically, it was only like a half charm pack, because usually a charm pack has about 42 squares in it, I believe, mostly. This one only had 21 squares. So I was able to get 5 hexagons out of each charm square. I think I mentioned previously on the vlog, or it could have been on a weekend wrap up, I'm not sure. They all blend in now, I don't know which ones are which. But I probably could have gotten 6 out of each charm square piece, which is 5 inches by 5 inches. But I like to have relatively big seam allowances. I mean, anybody who's an experienced EPPer might look at that and go, oh my god, so much wasted fabric. But I have issues with my hands, which I also, like I said, with the pain that I was suffering, I've spoken about that before. I have issues with my hands. I haven't been tested or anything like that, but I do struggle with grip and getting things, being very, very dexterous with my hands and grip and things like that. So I personally find it a lot easier to have that extra seam allowance on the back, and you might not like it that way, but that's the way I roll, baby. And anyway, so yes, I was able to get 5 out of each. I did start doing only 4 until I realized that there was so much waste that I could probably get a 5th one out of the charm square. So some of these only had 4 or less. Yeah, one of them I've only got 1 hexagon for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that is. But anyway, I have put together a couple of little flowers. Because I only have 5 of each fabric, I couldn't do the full 6 around the outside as one colour. So I've just broken it up and done 3 and 3. So that's the first one that I did. And then this one's still got my needle in it, so just excuse that. Then I did this orange one. And I'm just making it into like a piece of fabric. So I'm adding, I mean, it's probably not the most efficient way to sew them together, but I'm just adding random hexagons around the outside, and I'm going to probably like offset them in the piece of fabric, and possibly even do a third and try and fill them in around. So it's kind of something that I'm just freestyling at this point in time, and it's probably just going to make a little swath of fabric just to be a highlight on a bag or something, a center panel for something. I haven't for now, it's just the joy of doing it, so I'm not really putting too much pressure on it. It's about building skills and just the joy of hand sewing. So that is kind of all I've been working on. Simon and I did head over to an op shop right before we went for our immunisations on Tuesday, our booster shots, and they had a couple of quilting magazines. So I have no idea how old these are. I can't find a website for this publication on the internet or anything like that. So yeah, they had 4 of these, and I found 2 that had things in them that I would conceivably make, and they're only $2 each, so I grabbed both of those. So I thought, I know I mentioned on the last vlog that I wanted to go through a couple of the pattern books that my dear friend Shelley gave to me, so I will still be doing that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, and I thought I might include this in with those just to bulk out that episode a little bit, and it will just be like a little bonus video through the week, not just for my patrons but for everybody, just a little bonus video once I get around to it. And every time I look at the books and the magazines and stuff, I'm like, I've got to film that video, so hopefully that will be coming down the pipeline next week. But that is kind of it. This week has been a bit of a blur because Simon took off Monday and Tuesday, so I had an extra long weekend. And then I've been, as I said, working on under my stairs so that I can create a sewing space under there. I finally have built a shelf that I purchased for plants, which is over in the front corner here. Maybe I'll stick a little bit of footage in. It's only got one plant on it at this point, a plant that I had to bring down from the bathroom upstairs because she was too tall for my little stand that I have up in the bathroom. So yeah, I haven't filled it yet. I have some idea of what I'm going to be putting in the shelf. It's like glass and metal, and it's got like sort of Art Deco kind of feel to it. So yeah, I love Art Deco. I don't know how often I've said that on the vlog, probably not very much. Art Deco closely followed by Art Nouveau, which is kind of like why I loved the William Morris fabric that I used for my quilt that I showed off a couple of episodes back. So yeah, I've started cleaning out under the stairs. I've sold a couple of craft items. I built my shelf yesterday, and yeah, this weekend we're going to the sailing club for dinner. So I might do a little mini vlog of that, maybe, if there's a pretty sunset and things like that. If anything fun happens. It is the volunteers dinner, so Simon is a volunteer every week. He goes out on the rescue boat, so yeah, it's his dinner. He gets free dinner. So yeah, I'll be going down there to celebrate the volunteers, and yeah, maybe there'll be something to show, maybe not. But yeah, it is Friday and it's now the weekend, so happy weekend everybody. Or at least for my patrons who get this earlier than everybody else. If it is Monday and you are seeing this, then happy Monday. I hope you have a fab week. But yeah, I think I will leave it there. I'm gonna have to get going very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching. Happy knitting, happy crafting, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.